Hello, this is Trisha Reinhardt over at Regis College Library, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to organize your research using the RefWorks citation management tool. Now, if you have never used RefWorks before, you want to make sure that you familiarize yourself with it, how to create an account, how to use the basic functionality, which you can do on our RefWorks guide here. And so this just goes over some of the basic functionality that RefWorks offers. So this video is for those that are already using it and they want to learn more about how to use RefWorks to help to organize their research. So you want to first get into your RefWorks account, of course. And I'm already logged in, so it's already going to sign me in here. And so these are just some of the random references I have here that I've used for various demonstrations. But there are a couple different ways that you can organize and make notes on your article. So the first way, the most basic way, is the tags feature. So if you have exported references from PowerSearch or CINAHL or any one of the EBSCO databases, you've probably noticed these tags here that show up. These are basically the subject headings from the databases that come over as tags, but you can use these to help you in parsing out and organizing the particular articles. So when I click on this, it brings up the article here, article citation information here. And then down here is where the tags live. And so after I've gone in to edit the reference, you can see these are all of the tags that have come over from the databases. Now you can take out these if you want to do your own. You can keep them in, whatever works for you. What I have seen students use this function for is a couple different things. So if you're working on your dissertation and you're working on your literature review, using these tags as starting to formulate your headings. So you're looking for themes within the articles and organizing them by those themes and headings in your literature review. So you can add a tag here, type in whatever makes the most sense for your project, your heading for your literature review. Another way I've seen students use it is to organize by level of evidence. So if you're working on your dissertation or you're working on your research paper or the nursing research course, you might have to know what level of evidence this particular article is. And so you can use these tags to indicate what level of evidence it is as well, so that you can keep track of all of that in one place, as well as with all of your citation info. So when I'm done with editing the tags, I'm going to hit save. And now those tags are saved. And you can look to see what tags you have assigned to your particular articles. Now, another way that you can organize and keep track of your research is by uploading a PDF to RefWorks as opposed to exporting just the citation from EBSCO. You can actually take the PDF documents and put them in here. And that will give you the citation information as well as give you the PDF document that you can edit within RefWorks. So I have an example of one of them here that I've already uploaded. But if you want to upload a document from your computer, you can go to Add here, Upload Document, and then choose the document that you want to import. Now it does take a few minutes for it to get into RefWorks It has to get all the citation information as well as upload the PDF itself, which can take a couple of minutes. It doesn't take too long. Um, but once it's done, it will show just like this here. Um, Now, while that's loading in, I can show you the reader here. Now, the first thing you'll want to do when you import a PDF, because it's not coming from the databases, RefWorks isn't quite sure how to assign what reference type to assign to the article. Nope, this one just finished. So this will be a good example to show you. So I'm going to click on this. And right now it came over, when it imported it, it came as a generic. Now this is important to change this, especially when you're generating your references list, you want to make sure that it's the correct reference type. Otherwise, RefWorks will not know how to properly format it. So you click on the edit, again, a little edit pen there. And then you want to change this reference type to, this is a journal article. And chances are most of the references that you're working with are journal articles. So just make sure that says journal article there. And when I hit save, then it will show here the proper reference type. Now it also has the document for you here. Now this particular document, I have already started editing, highlighting, making notes in Adobe Reader, which is a really cool function that it has. And so when I go to read, it's going to show where I've highlighted. It's going to show any notes that I've put in already. So it does retain that information. The only thing it doesn't retain is if you have added a comment in Adobe. It does not retain the comments, but it does retain the highlighting and the notes. And then you can do the same thing in here. Here's the highlight function. So if there's a particular area that you want to highlight, you can just click and drag and it will highlight it for you. You can make a comment on something, if you want to comment on, this comment on this section. And you can also use the notes feature here, document notes, and make notes on it as you're reading through it. Important things to remember. I'd like to you paraphrase this section or quote this section in my paper, those sorts of things. Whatever works for you for taking those notes and organizing. Now, if I go back here, I have another one here that I've uploaded. When I go in here, this is an example of one that I hadn't edited in Adobe, but I started editing in here. And so it's the same functionality. You can make comments, you can highlight sections, you can make notes. I always say whatever works for you, do that. However you take notes, whatever you want to highlight, those sorts of things. So that was a really cool feature that I just recently discovered and I thought would be helpful for students that are using RefWorks and are looking for kind of a one-stop shop place to import, organize, make notes on your research. RefWorks may be really, really helpful for you. And if you have any questions on how to use it or you'd like a demonstration of it, please feel free to get in touch with us. You can go to the Contact Us button here on our homepage. You can set up a research consultation to sit down with a librarian. You can also email us at reference@regiscollege.edu with any quick questions you might have on it. We hope that you have found this video helpful and that you will use RefWorks to make the most out of your research.